Hello everyone, welcome back to Logic Bombs. I remember I skipped this level. That was a day or two ago. I don't remember exactly when I last recorded, but I'm not going back to it just yet. Let's carry on just going through the rest of this row. There's a lot of givens here, huh? Alright, I'm practically done with the puzzle already. Surely there can't be anything hard left, haha. This 9 has to get out, this 0 has to, this 0 has to get out to both sides, which finishes the 9. This 8 is done. Wait. No, what I just said is not true. This has to get out to one side, but not necessarily both. It's not supposed to connect back up. It has to connect here or here. I mean, there's 9 walls here and only 8 here. It sure looks like... Oh. This is the only one that has an opening. Okay, well, we better do that. And this has to go up and... Oh, it could go down, but it can't reach here, right? Yeah, we gotta do this. Right? I messed something up. This isn't right, because now this row is wrong. Is there a button on this screen to erase all the bombs? I don't think there... Or to erase my progress on the level. I think I have to go all the way back. Okay, let's try this again. We know this. And we know this. And we know all this. Did I fill this row in before? How did I do that? I don't see any evidence that it can be done. So this 0 has to get to one of the 4 corners, I guess is the point of this puzzle. Which corner? I don't think it can get to here, because it would have to do this, 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 but there's not enough space in this column for that. And I don't think I can get here either. It would have a similar path. Can't do that, right? Yeah. So it has to get out to the right, which means this row is now done. Now, could it get up? Maybe. Goes either up or down. Don't know which, but definitely one. And then it turns. So we can say these are marked off. They can't be filled. They can't be empty, or this 8 would be in trouble. So one of these is open. Maybe both. Could go like this, couldn't it? Maybe. Where's the point here? Like, could these two be the only non-walls in this row? It's hard to believe. Because how they couldn't connect up to here, so they'd be isolated. So one of these two is a wall at least. Could it be just this one? No. Because this would be a problem. We couldn't get out through here. There wouldn't... Okay. So this must be a wall, I think I can say. So maybe I can't tell yet which way this 0 goes, and I have to work out what's happening in the corner areas first before I determine how to connect to them. Well, wait a minute. Okay, this column is important too, right? There's only one more non-wall. Could it be this? No, it could never connect to this because this would be a wall, right? So this is a wall. And the same argument applies here. And then again here. So we can do that much. Okay. Progress. Now, there's just enough over here that I could do this. If this entire area were bricked off. Is there anything wrong with that idea? I think so. Because if this were all lined up and I bricked off all of this, this would have to go down here to here. I can't break off all of this because this 6th row would be ruined, right? Just straight away. So if this were open, it would have to go like that. I'd have to brick off all of this and the 6 would be unhappy. So this can't be open, it's a wall. This one I'm not so sure about. It seems like maybe that could happen. Well, no, because I'd have to brick off all this. And then which cell in this row is going to be open? It has to be this one, but then I can't get out from here. So this isn't possible either. What about this? No, because then these two cells would have to be open, which would mean... Oh, maybe that's fine? Maybe that is fine. Okay, for now I'm going to leave this as not sure. But actually, wait, can this get here with an 8 and an 8? Surely not, right? The best it could do would be like this, and it doesn't reach. So we can say this has to go this way then, and connect up to here. Which means this row is done. It has to come down. Okay, now let's look at this area again. This 9... Well, okay, maybe another point of view. This 8, actually. In this column, maybe this is open, maybe it's not. But either way, one of these is open. Could it be that only this one is open and this is closed? Clearly not. So if one of these two is open, it must include at least this one, which means we get to here. And that's done this column, has it not? So we can say this is closed off. We go here. And this 9, I think, could still be either of the two. Oh, I guess I can do this as well, because if I know this has to get down here, which means this has to get up here. So it has to touch this cell. There's only one non-wall cell in this column. Wait, they're all non-wall cells. I've done it all. There's 6 walls. I'm insane. Okay. Well, so this is all connected up now, and I bet this row is finished. It is. Which means I can do this row. Well, this column and then this row. So now we have to get to here. And the 4 row column means I have to do this. Yay! (48 to 42). So there are 6 more walls in this row than in these 2 rows? But we know in these 2 rows there are at least 2 walls to stop these groups of mines from getting each other, right? So these 2 columns have at least 2 walls total, and this row has 6 more walls total than those 2, which means 8 walls total. And that means these columns can't have any additional walls. Okay, cool. Well, it's nice. It's kind of cute that the question mark rows sorted themselves out first, right? Those are supposed to be the hard ones, but they were actually very constrained. This 8 is done, as is this. And this 2. The 6th row is done. There's 4 walls here. They have to either all be on this side, which is impossible, or all on this side, which is possible. If it were a mix, like 1 here and 3 here, we'd be cutting things off. So we can say that all the walls are here. These rows rather look a little constrained. 5 walls here means there's only space for 2 more non-walls. So it can't totally connect up here. It has to duck down into this row. But there is still 1 wall down here that we have to... Yeah, what the heck? Suppose this were the wall. Wouldn't we have a problem? To connect up this top row, we'd need at least these 3, and that's too many. So the wall has to be either here or here, I think. That's the only way I could get past it. So we can say this is all not wall, I believe. Oh, and this has to be not wall, because that's how... No, that's not true. This could connect up through here, like that. Oh, the same idea applies here as here. There are 4 walls, they all have to be on the same side, and this is the only side with room for 4 walls. And then the same idea here, right? This has to be able to... Or we have to be able to navigate this row with only 5 new... Oh, wait a minute. I think this wasn't quite true. Couldn't this have been? Yeah, it also could have gone there. Because I could get around this, making use of the existing x that's already there. So it just can't be in any of these 3 spaces. And then the same here. It has to be adjacent to where there's already an x on the nearby row. Ah, now this 8 is done. So we have to connect up this way. And this way, which means this 8 is done. The 6th column is done. And so is this one. Ah, now we've gone up here. That's probably important. Ah, this can't be blocked off or we wouldn't be able to get through anymore. So we have to do this. And likewise here, right? Yeah. So that finishes this column. And that means this can't be a wall either, or again, we'd be cut off. And likewise here. Yeah. So the column is done now. Now this row is done. There we go. Are we done with the row? We are. Any new ideas in the new row? Apparently. Oh, okay. Variables. X is X, Y is Y. Thanks for letting me know. I thought maybe X could be Q, but I guess not. Okay, yeah. Letter bombs, so we don't know the number for Y, but we know it's the same throughout the whole puzzle. Sure. No walls here. Simple enough. This Y, this X is 1. Well, it could be 0. It can't go there, right? It looks like it has to connect to this guy, but maybe the Y does that. But X is definitely 0 or 1. It can't be 2 or more. So this Y has to be what gets these guys, doesn't it? Because no one else can get this. Yeah. So Y is at least 3. Which means this Y has to get this monster. And this monster, because it can't reach any others. So now we know Y is exactly 3. We can't do this. X must be 1. Any way I could mark that? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Y is 3 and X is 1. Okay. If Y is 3, it has to get both of these two. Is that true? No. It has to get this one, but it could handle these two. No, this X needs one of these two. So this Y does have to get this one. Ah, I clicked in this row accidentally. Okay, just unclick all this stuff. I'll rediscover it shortly, I'm sure. This Y goes up there, so yeah, I can't do this. Okay. This Y can't blow this up, clearly. All right. Variable bombs. Sure. Rule 9. Letter bombs can't have identical values to any other letter or number bombs. I see. So X and Y, neither of them can be 2 or 3, and they can't both be 5 or something. Yes, X isn't Y, X isn't 2, X isn't 3. Sure. Also, 2 isn't 3. Just throwing that out there. So X and Y, huh? This X could just take one of the monsters, but it can't take 2. And it can't take 4 either, because then this Y would have to take 2. So it would take 5 then. So Y and X are 1 and 5 between them, but I don't know which is which. Okay. So one of these gets this whole row, and the other one has a wall. If I had to guess, this 4 and this 5 mean there's going to be a wall here, not here, but that's not a proof, just a guess. Now, where do I start on filling in the rest of this grid? These 9s. No? Maybe not. They look important. And for a moment, I thought they had to go like this or I couldn't get to the gem. But of course, that's not true. They could go like this and I could get to the gem through this 7. This 1, though, connecting with these 9s, the 9s actually do have to have a channel here, because 3 9s next to each other can't have a bend or anything, right? One of them would need an 8. So this is a straight shot. And it's the only place in these 3 rows where there are any open cells. But we know there's at least 2 open cells between these 3. So that's where it has to connect out to the rest of the world here, where we have to bridge the gap. Okay. Now what, though? This 8 and 4 is highly asymmetrical. But I don't know what to do about it. This 8 also has some interesting asymmetry. Because I know... Yes, okay, I should have thought a little bit more about what I learned X and Y were. It's true I learned they're 1 and 5 between them and I don't know which, but that doesn't mean I can't mark anything down here. I know these monsters must be consumed as a single group. Even though I don't know whether X or Y gets to them, I know they must be connected. And that gives me this column. And probably this one too? Yeah. This can't be the other... Well, it gives me something. Can't be the other non-wall in this column, because then the gem could never get to these monsters. So this is a wall. Maybe not the most important revelation, but it's a revelation. Oh, this column is done. Also, we have to connect here to get... Now we have to connect here to get the groups to join up. So we know how to do this row and this column. And this row. And this column. Nope, it's a row. I think this was a column as well. I can't remember which word means what. This column's got to be all walls. This row is done. I need another wall in this column. And I need another non-wall down here. It has to be here or here. I don't know which. But it's not up here, so that's a wall. Here I can't make the same claim. I think this could be either. How about over here? Well, one of these has to be non-wall. Oh, this one, in fact. Because if it were this one and this were a wall, we'd obviously have a problem. So I've discovered which of these is which now. How nice. This row of fives needs 2 more. This is done there. All right, well, the lettered... What? 6? What do you mean 6? Oh. You're telling me there are 6 X... Okay, I see. Do I see? No. Well... I mean, this is instructive, I guess. I'm not sure if this total is what this total is telling me. I guess the total number of monsters. That's what this icon is, so I don't have to count it up. And the total number of x's and y's. So the point here is that 6x, because there are 6 x's, plus 6y, there are 6 y's, must be the total number of monsters being blown up by all mines on the... all letter mines. And that has to equal 6, because there are 6 monsters to blow up. So 6x plus 6y is 6. One of them must be 0, and the other one must be 1, right? That's what they're getting at here, I guess. I hope I don't have to explain this deduction. I don't know. If I were a good patient YouTuber, I'd be describing this simple deduction every time, like Simon does on Cracking the Cryptic, but I don't have that kind of patience. The wall has to be in between these two, or they blow each other up, and so it can't be out here. Likewise, this column and this one. No, that's not true. Yeah, these two can't be allowed to blow each other. Oh, wait, it's not true here, though, because there's no mines here. In this column, though, yes, we do need the wall to be in the middle here and here. Oh, well, those can't be allowed to blow each other up. Now this 2 needs non-walls out here. This column's done. You have to get out. Yes. This 2 row I can't put all the walls here. Oh, I can, because there's already one here. Whoops. Shoot. I thought I was about to conclude that this X has to hit this guy. But I think a similar thing applies here. Well, yeah, it's similar in that I still don't have an answer. I can indeed put all three of the walls. Or there's only two left. I mean, there's lots of ways I could arrange it so that like the X gets this or that the Y gets it. Either is possible. Ah! Okay. These two 1 columns are what's telling me. I know there's a wall in one of these two. I don't know which one. Maybe this X reaches the monster, maybe this X reaches the monster. But they can't both reach the monster, and since they both have the same number, actually neither of them can be allowed to reach the monster. X must be 0, which means Y is 1. And I can do all this. Send me straight to hell. I've overfilled this row. Ah, I misunderstood this too. We could go here. Okay, I have this much. Now I need that. Okay. It's interesting that, like, it grayed out the label on the Y mine when I finished the column it was in. I'm not sure what it means when it grays out the label on a mine. Or a bomb or what have you. So 4x plus 2y is 10, huh? I mean, it seems like x is probably 2. Like, it has to be 2, unless y were 5 and x were 0, which is not possible. So if x is 2 and y is 1, we get there, right? That's pretty much the only option. I guess x could be 1 and y could be 3? Yeah, that's true too. But that's ruled out by this y here. Right? It can't be 3. It can only be 0, 1, or 2. If it were 2, we'd have a problem. So it's 1. And x is 2. So these guys can't be gotten by x, this x. They have to be gotten from the side. All of them. Y is 1. So it can't go up here. X is 2. Neither of these y's can get to this guy because they'd have 2 monsters if they did. So this x must do it. Also, that's the only way the x can get any monsters at all, frankly. So this y has to come down, which means this x goes like this. This x comes up to here. This x has to come down to here. Okay. Any other interesting rows or columns lying around who want to announce themselves? Like, I know... Oh, yeah, you. You gotta be a wall, or this X would be too happy. I know there's one wall in here at least. There might be two and there might not is the problem. Is there any other place where walls are forced? There's at least one in this area. Not that interesting, I think. There's only one non-wall in this whole row. It's kind of interesting. Oh, this column, here we go. Needs 3 more walls. Does that help me with anything? Not obviously. Well, one of these two is a wall, right? Which means this Y has to go up and over somehow to connect this area. And if it goes up and over, it has to go like this or like this. Either way, it's touching this square. That's interesting. And then also this one, right? At which point, it could go down or it could go over. But we do get these 2 cells at least. I can't make a similar conclusion about this row because there's lots of other ways we could connect these guys. We could just do this, for example. Wait, this row is busted. There aren't even 4 walls here. I filled it in and I was left with only 3. Okay, that's a problem. So didn't I prove that x is 2 and y is 1, right? Was there some other possibility? I mean, we can just count up for what x could be. If x were 0, y would be 5. Impossible. If x were 1, y would be 3. Impossible because of this y. If x is 2, y is 1. Sure, seems fine. If x is 3, then 12 is 10. Impossible. So x must be 2 and y must be 1. So we can say that this y must go down. This x has to come over. Can't connect up there. Now, did I say this was impossible before? It seems like it could be. Ah, no, it is impossible because these 3 can't be gotten by the x. They have to be gotten from the side like so. And now the y going here would be impossible. Instead, the x has to go there. That all still seems true to me. This y can't go there. I'm not sure I can finish this, though. I might have made a too hasty conclusion about how these last 3 monsters are disposed last time. Because this x could go here or here. This x could go here or here. And this x could go here or here. So, absent some additional information, I can't actually tell how these connect up. And I think I had made a conclusion about how they connect up before I drew this 9 in. So I think that might be what I was wrong about. this column must be filled in. Now I can say this x goes here, this x goes here, and this x goes here. Is that the same as what I had before? I don't remember. No, I don't think it is. I remember I had this as a connected square. So I think, yeah, I've fixed the mistake I had. This conclusion here, I think, is still true. One of these, at least, must be a wall. So y has to get to at least here and at least here. And that finishes the 6th column, and we find out there's definitely a wall here, so the y goes up. This column's done. This section has to connect to this section, which almost finishes this row, but not quite. This has to come up here, and that really does finish this row. This column is all walls now. This column, I guess, is done. This should be useful. There's only one more non-wall in this area. Could it be here? No, because it couldn't get out. So that's a wall, which finishes this column. This has to get out. This row needs to be done. Or is done. It needs walls. Oh, I've been able to mark this for ages. This column's done. This row. This column is done. And this row, right? Because I have this cleared. Yeah, now this is all walls. So I can do these 2 rows. These 2 columns. And this row. And this row. Alright, always nice to start my Minesweeper with a little bit of algebra. X, Y, and Z. That's too many. Three. Okay, let's come back to these. See if there's anything I can immediately do. That is true, for example. And that. But like, are there any monsters that I can tell have to... Oh, we can see X is at least 1. That's interesting. Not very interesting, I guess. The last wall in this column has to stop this x from blowing up the gem, so it can't be up here. Now we can see that y is at least 1. So together, they're at least one of them is at least 1 and another one is at least 2. Cool. How big could x be? Could x be 2? No. Well, yes. So I briefly thought that y had to be bigger than x and z had to be bigger than y. That's nonsense, of course. But could the lowest of these numbers be 2? I think not. Because let's say y were 2. Then if that were the lowest number, we'd have a 3 and a 4. Let's say we made... I think that we just have too many minds, right? There would be 6 from y. And z being at least 3 would mean another 9. X would have to be 0, but that's impossible. So, okay. There has to be... Well, actually, could any of these numbers be 4? No. Even if x were 4, that would be 8 mines. 8 bombs, 8 monsters, whatever. And I'd need 7 to split between these. That's obviously impossible. Isn't it? Yeah. 7's not divisible by 3, I'm pretty sure. So even the smallest one of these can't be... Well, this can't be 4. And if this were 4, that would be 12. I'd need this to be 1 and this to be 0. But we know x isn't 0. So none of these are even 4. So they're between 0, 1, 2, and 3. Could any of them be 0? We know x isn't, because it's already touching some walls. We know y isn't, so z is the only possibility. I say touching walls, touching some monsters. So could z be 0? I guess. If x were 3... Oh, but then y would also have to be 3? Or if x were like 6 and y were 1? It seems crazy. And x can't be any bigger than 4. Because this guy can't reach any more than 4 monsters. So, okay. I don't think z could be 0. Let me just double check that. If z were 0, the most x could be would be 4. But then I'd have a number of monsters left that's not divisible by 3. I'd have 7 monsters to get with the y mines. So could x be 3? Only if y were also 3. Could x be 2? No. Could x be 1? That would be 2 mines. There'd be 13 left for the y's. That's impossible. No. So z can't be 0 either. So the 3 numbers, none of them can be 0. And none of them can be as big as 4. So they're between 1, 2, and 3. Those are, x, y, and z together are 1, 2, and 3 in some order. I need y and z to sum to an odd number, right? Because if they summed to an even number, I'd have to have an even number of total monsters, which I don't. Because I have 3 times 2 times n, where n is some number, so 2n is even. If y and z, yeah, that wouldn't work. If the sum of y and z were even, then I'd have 3 times some even number, mine's accounted for, which would be even. And then 2 times some other number, which would also be even. So that's not possible. So y and z must sum to an odd number, which means they're an odd number and 2. Okay. So 1 of y or z is 2. And it's not y, because this y can't get to 2. So z is 2. Okay. So if z is 2, that's 6 taken care of. I have 1 and 3 between these. Which works better? If this were 2, 6. If this were 3, I'd have 15 mines. I'd have too many mines. So z is 2. Y is 1. That's 6, 9, and then x is 3, 15. Yes. So xyz is 3, 1, 2 in that order. Okay. So got it. My y is 1. That's important. Three, 1, 2 in that order. X is 3. It has to get these guys. You got to go there and also here. Y is 1, so it's not getting to this monster. It has to be the z who gets here. Z is 2. X is 3. It's got to get at least this guy. Y has to reach this monster. This z is 2. I just need to uninstall the game. One sec. This z is a problem. I messed up this z somehow. Let me just start this puzzle over. I know what x, y, and z are, and that should be a big help. 3, 1, 2. So this y can only go this way. Can't go there or there. So this z, yeah, these two monsters have to come from below. X is 3, it has to go this way. This monster can't be served by this X, has to go this way. Z is 2, it already has 2. It can't get this monster. Whereas before I had it going here for some reason. This X has to go up to get its 3 monsters. These 2 plus 1 of these 2. This monster can't be served by a Y that's already filled. It has to be here. This X is getting one of these two. If it's getting this one, this Z has to go here. And if it's getting this one, this Z can't even survive. So it has to be that this Z reaches here, this X reaches up, and those are blocked off. Now this Z has to come up here, and the Y is there. Okay, I think this time I did it without screwing up. We shall see. This row needs a wall. Well, it has to be specifically there to stop this. And then one of these two, so not here. These areas don't need to be walls. They could be, but they don't have to be. That's got to be a wall. Stop this illicit connection. The last wall has to be in here, so it's not there. This has to be a wall for many reasons. This column is done. It would be really nice to know what you're touching, buddy. Well, you're touching that cell at least. The row is done. Like, if I could say you have to come down here, that would be quite informative. But I don't think I have to say, I can say that. This 4 row could be all of those. I thought this 5 was interesting, but at the moment it's not. This column is almost full, but not quite. Can I say that these two groups are definitely touching each other? That would be pretty cool. There's only 2 more walls in this area. In this whole mess, in fact. But I don't think that means that they have to touch. I'm not missing someplace where bombs touching additional monsters would be a problem, am I? I don't think so. I think all of those constraints are already forced by the row and column constraints now. Yeah. I haven't made a mistake yet, right? Well, I've made at most 2 mistakes, I guess. It's not that useful, actually. Because I just can't see what to do next. I feel like I should prove connectivity between these 2 groups, or disprove it. Because that's what's needed to help me out over here, I think. Oh, this column's done. Okay. I hate this game. So now I can prove disconnectivity, because if they touched, these gems would touch. So I can just do this. And there's a wall in this row, which has to be one of these 2 to stop this group connecting up. So it's not any of these. And there's a wall in this row, which is one of these three, so it's not any of those. We can't allow connectivity down here either, like this. But that is not really saying anything. It's pretty hard to actually get connectivity down here because there's so many walls left. There's only one more wall in this whole column. I don't think it could be here, because then this entire column would be open, and the one open space I place in this column would lead to an illegal connection. So that's open. I don't think the same logic applies to any of these cells, though. But I think I can say, consider which cell here in this row the wall is. Let's say it's this one. Doesn't that have to match exactly the cell in this column that the wall isn't? Because if there were a wall here, then with all of these cells open, wherever the wall isn't in this row would connect up. So I think it's true then that in every one of these dominoes, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, there must be exactly one wall. So there can't be one here. And now I can do this. And likewise, if there's only one wall here, there need to be two more in the row to finish it. If there's one wall here, there need to be two more in this row to finish it. I hope I'm not wrong about that idea. This column is done. Ah, now this has to get out, and that tells me what part of this column is not a wall. No! Oh, my precious! What have I done wrong? Oh! This still didn't get out. That's the problem. No, don't make me start over, please. I want an undo button so bad, man. Because I finished this part in a big hurry. I see, okay. I was wrong in my idea about the dominoes here, because this pair of cells actually could both be open, because this is not connected to here yet. So can I rescue it from here? No. Because I can't actually connect these up. This 5 is done. Oh, but that's because of something I did over here. No, I already had 5 of these, so... Ah, I was close. Okay, I really want to keep going on this one rather than skip it, because knowing what x, y, and z are is a big help. X is 3, y is 1, z is 2. Y can't reach this guy, so the z has to. This 3 has to get at least u. This x to get to 3 has to go this way. U can only be reached by this y, and that's all this y is allowed to reach. This z has to go there. That finishes this z. This z has to reach 2, which has to include this one. This y has to reach something, which is there. This z has to come up. This has to go up to the z, which means that this x has to go up to here. Okay. Monsters assigned, again. This column was done the whole time. Okay. And I just didn't see it. When I'm done with a row or column, I don't want it to be slightly darker and only if I'm done in one of two ways. I want it to be blinking red and making exploding sounds, you know? Like, because it's such an important deduction and so easy to miss. But like so mechanical, the computer could just tell me. Anyway, this y can't go there. I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again. If I switch themes, yeah, none of these are somehow pointing this out to me. It is maybe a little bit easier to see in this view, the dark versus light gray. Maybe. It's still pretty hard, honestly. I like the Game Boy view. Column's done. These groups can't touch. This row is done. This y can't get to here. This z can't get to here. This y has to get out. This 5, this can't be the last open spot in the row, because then I would do this. And this would be blocked in. So in fact, we can say that that has to be a wall. Makes everything much easier. I didn't see the problem this group was having until I walked into it on the last go through. This gem can't get to this gem through here. It looks like we're going to have to get up this way. This can't be the last open cell. This group would be trapped. These two groups can't touch. This column's done. This can't be the last wall in the column where these two would touch. This z can't be allowed to blow this guy up. This row is done. This column is done. This row is done. And this guy can still get out. That's important. This row is done. Can't let them touch. Now we're looking pretty good, I think. Yay! All right. That's not a ton of puzzles. I think I started on this one today, so I did 7 in an hour. I mean, they're tricky puzzles. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.